Do you recall an interesting or touching moment that you experienced while talking to voters along the campaign trail?
There's tons of sensitive moments. I mean, there's a lot of anecdotes that I've gotten from a lot of my folks too out on the road. We had a gentleman just recently out in Stillman, Michigan, which is up in the UP. I had a bumper sticker on the Colbeck bumper sticker, and this guy gets out of his car, runs up to him, and says, "That's my guy. That's the guy I'm voting for." And he goes, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Not only am I voting for him, my whole GM UAW local is voting for him." And he goes, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah. You know, they told us to vote for Hillary in the last election. We all voted for Donald Trump. This time they're telling us to vote for Gretchen Whitmer. We're all voting for Colbeck." And it's stories like that that happen all over the state that kind of warm my heart. There's a lot of stuff not getting reported that's happening on the ground that is really appreciative. Now, I can recall back in my state Senate run when I was knocking on doors and talking to somebody who was just, he just looked sad. And I sat down next to him, and he was on a rocking chair. And it wasn't on my list to go off and walk, but I saw the gentleman sitting out there and went up to him. Turned out that his wife of something like 50 years had recently passed away. And he was out there sifting through this poetry that he had written for her while he was there. So you're never supposed to spend more than 2 minutes at any door. I ended up spending about 45 minutes sitting down as he'd recite all that poetry to me. And you can tell, I mean, I don't even know if I got the guy's vote at the end of this, but you could tell it made a huge difference for him when it came, when I left. And there's so many people that are out there hurting just like that gentleman, that are looking for somebody just to give them a voice. This election's about that. It's about giving people a voice. I never wanted to go into politics. It's still my least favorite occupation I've ever had in my life, but there's so many people that do not feel like they're getting their voice out there, that I do my best to make sure that we can get that voice out. Right now I'm the only Republican state senator in Wayne County, and a lot of people in Wayne County feel like their voice is lost. They've adopted me as their state senator to go off and look into matters that their representatives are not doing. We've been kind of the land of misfit toys, where people come to us because we will listen to them because nobody else will. And those are the stories that touch my heart. I cannot stand bullies. And when the government's acting like a bully, I make sure that they're held accountable. When there's just people that are not in the government act as bullies, I make sure that they're held accountable too. So there's tons of stories we can go on. I share a lot of these stories in my book, Wrestling Gators, Outsider's Guide to Draining the Swamp. If you go through that, it's got a lot of personal stories that get into some detail on some things that actually happen. And it also talks about how government really works on the inside, which I think people would find pretty enlightening.